What's going on? What's going on? Good morning. Happy Saturday. What's going on with you guys out there? I just would like to discuss something real quick about who should we really be mad at when it comes to our grievances working for the MTA. Should we be mad at the MTA for being the MTA, or should we be mad at our union representation for not representing us properly? You know, it's something to really think about, right? Because we can point fingers at the MTA, and we could say, you know, it's therefore, right? Because they not listening to the members. But let's analyze it this way, right? The MTA have about 70,000 employees altogether. We talking about represented and non-represented employees, right? A lot of titles have grievances of things that needs to be addressed and things of that nature, right? Now, we can't expect the MTA to address every individual issue. That's why we have a union, right? We have a union to represent the members at large, right? So if the union leadership is not addressing the members' issues at large, how can we expect the MTA to know exactly what's going on? And the reason I say that is because you look at all the MTA executive management, right? They have absolutely no New York City transit experience. You look at Pat Foy. Pat Foy never was a transit worker. You look at Sarah Feinberg, never was a transit worker. You look at Sarah Meyer, in charge of communications, never was a transit worker. You have all these executives and chiefs of the MTA that never was transit workers. They came from regular corporate settings. And we talking about corporate settings which the people who they oversaw didn't have a union, right? So this is all new to them in some form or fashion. And the way that they operate in corporate America is the boss of the company or the top executives of the company rely on their subordinates to give them reports, to fill them in on what's going on and things of that nature. So here in the MTA, we already know how it works in the MTA. You have superintendents who's not handling their business and reporting the proper grievances to upper management so they can get resolved, right? So the problem with us at MTA, it actually starts with our union. But when you look at management, it actually starts with the superintendents in the field, afraid to say what's really going on in the field because they don't want a negative evaluation or a negative report or have their bosses coming down on them, right? So they never actually handle our grievances properly, and upper management, executive management, never find out what's really and truly going on a level to basically benefit us, right? So you have executive management relying on field managers. You know, we talking about deputy superintendents, line superintendents, generals, and even the actos. They don't report what's truly going on. The only thing that they do and that they focus on is discipline. Why? Because a lot of managers in New York City Transit, they correlate high discipline numbers with them doing their job, right? If discipline is not high, then they feel that they're not doing their job. They don't care about clean facilities. They don't care about safe practices. They don't care about assaults. They don't care about any of that, right? Now, I would want to say this about my assault. And for anyone else who have been assaulted, because I didn't ask anyone as of yet, I had 2 superintendents reach out to me, right? And they labeling it wellness checks. I had 2 Q-line superintendents reach out to me, Ms. Rivera and Robert Law, right? Reach out to me in the name of wellness checks. Have anyone else experienced that, or is that me? Is that exclusive to me? I'm trying to figure something out here. But yeah, they are not doing anything, right? So when you look at the assaults are high in New York City Transit on workers, on employees. The assaults are very high. Nothing is being done. Nothing is fundamentally changing. It's business as usual. And the only thing that you see really going on is pass the buck, right? You got the union pointing the finger at the MTA. You have the MTA pointing the finger at NYPD. You have NYPD pointing the finger at the mayor. Meanwhile, all this finger pointing, and we are still getting our butt kicked on the job, which have me very upset, right? So nothing fundamentally is changing with our job. For example, conductors is getting spit on, right? We get spit on, we getting hit. Most of the time, these assaults are happening while the train is leaving the station. Why don't they change the 75 feet platform observation to 25 feet? If you limit the time that a conductor got his head outside the cab, then you limit the assaults. This is basic arithmetic, right? It's basic mathematics. Basic mathematics. Why don't they do that, right? The superintendents, they have the power to do that. The line superintendents, the deputy superintendents, the general superintendents, they have the power to come together to say, hey, until we get these assaults underway, we're going to limit the platform observation from 75 feet to 25 feet. And when things return back to a safe environment for our employees, then we will return back to the 75 feet platform observation. But nothing is being done because superintendents in New York City Transit feel like the only way that they're doing their job is if they're disciplining employees. That's why discipline is at an all-time high, because once again, superintendents correlate them doing their job with dishing out discipline. Simple as that. Simple as that. But once again, who should we really be mad at? Should we be mad at the MTA? That's filled with leadership, executive leadership, that don't know what they're doing simply because they don't come from a transit background and their subordinates is not reporting to them what's really happening in the field. That's why management is be very upset when I post on Twitter, because their field management is not reporting what I'm reporting. How am I finding homeless or EDPs with shopping carts in the system? And purposely, I get pictures from terminals where I feel that there should be police presence 24/7 at terminals. And we talking about platform police presence. Why? Because workers get assaulted at terminals when we tell EDPs or homeless or drug users that they have to leave the trains for layups and things of that nature, the train have to be laid up or relayed or whatever the case may be, right? There should be a 24/7 police presence on every platform in this city. There should be a 24/7 police presence at every gap station in this system. No exceptions, right? Until we get this crime resolved or to so low that it does not exist. Because this is where a lot of the crime, a lot of the assaults happen with employees. This is where it happens at. And once again, our union is supposed to have our best interest, not the MTA best interest, not Cuomo best interest, not the politicians' best interest, but the workforce best interest. They do not have our best interest. We seen this during COVID. The union refused to stop unsafe work, right? If they would have us work unsafe, they would do it, and we have seen them do it. We have seen them have us work unsafe during this whole entire COVID thing, while they hunkered down in their homes while we continued to work. If the union is not willing to stop unsafe work, then what are they willing to stop? Safety is paramount. The MTA have an obligation to keep us safe. They don't have a choice. They do not have a choice. They have to keep us safe at work. So we're already seeing during this pandemic, we wasn't safe during the pandemic, right? We already see the egregious amount of assaults at the workplace. They cannot keep us safe. So what are transit workers to do? Are we supposed to be mad at the MTA for wanting to keep service moving by any means possible? Or are we supposed to be upset at our union leadership for keeping service moving by any means possible, even if that means us working unsafe, getting killed at work, getting seriously assaulted, punched in the face, stabbed, whatever the case may be? We have went through all of that these past 2 years. Not one time did we have a safety stand down. Not one time was unsafe work stopped. There's no plan in place for them to stop unsafe work. Let's go back to the incident with Goebel. Shopping carts should be banned on the subway. The union should hand out messages saying that, hey, because conductors will see it before anyone else. If you see a shopping cart board your train, you are to not move that train, and then immediately call RCC and ask for police assistance. Why? Because we already experienced a fatality regarding this. Why do they have us moving trains with shopping carts on it? That should be a big no-no. Are they waiting for part 2 to happen? That should be the next question, right? Are they waiting for part 2? If we have a smoke condition, right? Once again, why are trains moving through a smoke condition area? If there's a smoke condition, all trains should go into the station and stop with their doors open. And if the smoke condition is that egregious, the train needs to be evacuated. But there should be no trains in the tunnels or moving through a smoke or fire condition, because until the situation is rectified, it's pulled out, the fire department come, or whatever the case is. No train should move during a smoke condition. Bottom line, once again, we already experienced a fatality during this. Why isn't the union pushing this narrative to keep us safe? And not only keep us safe, because we have family members who travel along the system, right? Why aren't they doing that to keep everyone safe? It seems to me that the MTA, or better yet, the union, is in the business of keeping trains and keeping vehicles, all our vehicles moving in the best interest of the MTA and not the best interest of the safety of passengers. We've seen bus operators operating buses. Buses are literally, this is not an exaggeration. Buses are literally a test tube full of germs. It's a test tube of germs. It's a test tube full of germs. And they thought that putting up a shower curtain psychologically would make you think that you're safe. That was far from the truth. That was far from the truth. Like the virus was gonna come to the shower curtain and say, oh, they put up a shower curtain. Let's not go above and let's not go below the shower curtain because we're just that stupid like that, right? But psychologically, they play a game with the members to make you think that they're safe, and the union fell for it. Why? Because they are in the business of moving vehicles, creating revenue for the MTA, even if that means workers working unsafe. Even if it means that. They do not care. So once again, to the root of this live, who should we really be mad at? Should we be mad at the union for not having our best interests, or should we be mad at the MTA for being an MTA and wanting to create revenue and move these vehicles by any means necessary? I say that we have to be mad at our union leadership. If you look at what Sarah Feinberg is doing now, she's doing these Zoom meetings, these town hall meetings. And these town hall meetings, she is bypassing the union, and she's taking on our issues, and she's trying to rectify our issues. What she's essentially doing is saying, hey, look, your union leadership isn't doing their job, and we tired of you guys embarrassing us, and we also want to break your union. So don't even go to your union. Come straight to me so I can resolve your grievances. And that's what she's been doing. And I said this years ago. I said that this union leadership, they're going to put themselves in trouble because they are not, because they not addressing our issues. So they're going to get themselves in the MTA in trouble, because the MTA is going to be like, well, if you guys are saying everything is all good, then why are your members complaining so much? So the MTA say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to start doing Zooms. We're going to cut out the middleman, which is the union, and we're going to start listening to the members ourselves and acting like we care. And we're going to rectify a few of their issues, but we're going to act like we care so they can have more trust in us resolving their issues than going to the union to resolve their issues. Now, can you be mad at the MTA for that? No, because the union leadership have been ignoring our issues at large for a very long time, right? The MTA is also in the business of keeping up their image, right? So Progressive Action, we have got so big and powerful and popular in the media, social media, and all this other stuff that we can no longer be ignored. So we put our grievances on Front Street for everyone to see, and the MTA have to answer to that. So the answer to that was that, wow, the union is not really trying to solve the members' issues. So maybe we just need to create these Zooms to cut out the union so they can have better trust in us and can trust us and you know, make a move on the union. Now, once again, the union created this atmosphere. The union leadership created this atmosphere for themselves. They don't even show up on these Zoom meetings to ask questions or to say anything. They don't even show up to these meetings. They feeding us to management. How crazy is that, right? They are feeding us to management. That don't even, like, who would do that? Like, who would want that? Who would want that? Like, we all know that the MTA don't have good intentions when it comes to New York City Transit. It's different for Long Island Railroad and Metro North. We see that as different. But they do not have good intentions when it comes to the men and women of New York City Transit. The union knows this, and they continue to sit on their behinds and do nothing. Why? Because whether they do their job or not, their $4,000 bi-weekly checks don't change. They don't get affected. They don't have to worry about discipline. They don't have to worry about coming into work to work unsafe. They don't have to worry about being assaulted. They don't have to worry about any of that. Whether they protect us or not, they don't have to worry about it, because they know that they have a hand in keeping us disenfranchised. Think about this. What happened to the shop steward class? Can anyone explain to me what happened to the shop steward class? It has only been 4 years since we had a shop steward class. Why isn't the shop steward class back? Can someone explain to me why the shop steward class isn't back? If you want the shop steward class back, hit the like button. I want to see if y'all want the shop steward class back. Like this video if you want the shop steward class back. If you want to be educated. You want to know why the union do not want to educate the membership? Because educating the membership will also point the finger at them to show, and will really show how negligent they really are regarding being leaders, regarding having the members' best interests. We call it a self-inflicted wound. They will have a self-inflicted wound if they really educate us on what's really going on here. It's bottom line. But us as members, we have to stop not wanting to be involved with the union. You know, we talk about, oh, you know, I don't like politics. I don't like politics. Well, let me put you on to something. I don't like politics either, right? But I realize that politics determines my health care. Politics determine how much money I will make an hour. Politics determine my safety. Politics determine my cost of living. Politics determine everything in your life, right? Everything in your life. You don't have to be involved with all these crazy politics and claim these different groups, socialists, liberals, Republican, Democrat. You don't have to claim any of that, but you must be involved with the politics of your job. Everything about your job is political. Look what the union, the fake fight that the union and the MTA is saying together. Oh, we need more cops. We need better, tougher laws. All of that is political, right? So politics determine almost every corner of your contract. Every corner of your job is controlled by politics. We must stop using the narrative or not making a reason why we don't want to engage with our contract or be involved with the union because of politics, man. Politics controls every corner of our existence here in the MTA. Every single corner of our existence, it covers it. So we have to stop saying that we don't want to be involved in politics. We must be involved with politics. And if we don't be involved with politics, we're going to lose everything that we have gained since Local 100 been in existence. Because we're not in the politics, we got Tier 6. That's something to think about right there. Right? Because we're not in politics, we are far behind other big city agencies. Sanitation, corrections, New York, NYPD, fire department. We are behind them in every way, shape, form, and fashion because we're not involved in politics. We don't like politics. When it comes to our union representation, right? I don't care if I like you or I don't like you. If you're doing the work of the membership, I'ma support you, right? But us as a union, we have a habit of supporting the popular candidate and not supporting the candidate who's actually going to put in the work, right? That's an issue here. That's an issue in Local 100. And I'm gonna continue to bring this guy name up, Donald Yates, for all you guys in buses. A lot of people like Yates. He's very popular. But if you examine Yates' live videos, if you examine his Twitter post, Yates is not that intelligent. He does not know what's really going on. Yeah, he learned on the job, but he learned a lot of the wrong things. A lot of his narrative is wrong, but just because he's a nice guy, you guys like to vote him in. I don't get it. You know, I don't get it. And we continue to lose. because of that right there. Tony Utano. Utano is a nice guy. I'm not saying that he's not. Yates is a nice guy too. I don't get it twisted. I like Yates as a person. I don't like him as a union rep. I'm quite sure Utano is a nice guy, right? I'm quite sure he's cool to hang out with, have a drink, and crack a joke with. That's not going to get us a good contract. Utano, he's not intelligent on union issues. Yes, he's been around for a very long time. That says nothing. We hear how he talk. We see how he handle business. Being a good guy in his union and being nice to hang out with does not translate to strong leadership. It just doesn't. You know, I mentioned Ferretti, right? Ferretti don't have bad ideas, right? It's just that the members, he don't resonate with the members properly, and that's because of his narrative, his the way he structured his stuff. You know, it comes off as fake and phony, or whatever the case is. You know, that's the reason why he don't resonate with the members. Now, does that mean that he's worthless? No, it does not mean that he's worthless. Everybody can't be a leader. Some people, like I said, they got to be a part of the street team. They got to hand out flyers. They got to help get signatures. They got to run for lower positions, you know, and that's the case there. I believe that he wants to do right by the members, but it comes off as fake, and I believe that it is fake for the most part, but there's a place for him. There's a place for him. But that's what's going on here in Local 100 now. You know what I'm saying? Progressive Action have shown that we could work with anyone. If you look at what's going on now, a lot of the people who's running for spots in Local 100, even the new people, they came from Progressive Action. Progressive Action inspired them. That's what leaders do. Leaders inspire you to want to get involved. Leaders inspire you to want to create change and things of that nature. We have birthed leaders, or want to be leaders, whatever the case you may look at it. People look at us and we make things look easy, but people don't understand the hard work, the dedication that goes into doing what we do. They don't understand that. Somebody said handing out flyers is being a leader. Yeah, you could be the leader of the street team. You're right, right? You could be the leader of the street team. Every campaign have a street team, right? And street team and getting out there and creating the groundwork awareness is very important. It's very important. I'm not saying that it's not, but when it comes to being a leader as far as making people want to get involved, making people want to create change, making people want to go to union meetings, making people want to stand up for what's right, that's a different type of leadership. That's a different type of leadership. And everything ain't for everyone, right? Everything ain't for everyone. You can't continue to overshoot your shot. If you continue to overshoot your shot, then what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? You're going to continue to lose every election, everything, right? When you overshoot your shot. You never want to play yourself out of position, right? Now, whether I get elected or whether I don't get elected, that does not stop the work that I do. That does not stop me from pushing forward. That does not stop me from being active in my community. And I'm not active in my community because something happened. I'm active in my community when things don't happen. That's the beauty of it. I'm active in this union when things don't happen. That's the beauty of it, right? I spent thousands of dollars to bring information on a high level to the members. We talking about our own TV studio. We talking about hitting the pavement and doing on-scene interviews. Like, we're about to take this thing to a next level, and this is all because to bring information to you guys, to bring our real truths, for the members to really have a voice out here. We don't have no voice. If it wasn't for Progressive Action, I don't know what would be going on. I don't know what would be happening if it wasn't for Progressive Action, man. y'all got to give us our flowers. Like, I'm not one of those people that's afraid to talk about what we did and what we accomplished. Nah, I stand on that. I stand on that. I'm proud to see the television shows, you know, like how dad watches children. That's how I feel. I'm proud to see the television shows that birthed, that came about because of Progressive Action TV. I'm proud of that because I know where that came from, right? I'm proud to know that I inspired people to run for positions because I know where that came from. I know where that came from. So I'm proud of that. But all that hating and acting like, you know, we don't have no influence on the property from the union themselves, from some members who's jealous that they can't retain a crowd like how we could retain a crowd and vibrate with the crowd, with the people like how we vibrate. Man, y'all got to do better, man. We not hating on nobody. We not creating talk shows, bringing up any other factions. We not doing any of that. We want people to do good, right? I understand that I can't reach everyone. Maybe you could reach them over there, but we not name dropping. We not trying to rain on you guys' parade. We just putting our head down and doing the work. That's all the members care about at the end of the day. We putting our head down and doing the work, and we're going to create something special this year. We want to work with everyone, right? As long as they're honest, they're telling the truth, and they not on no craziness, right? We willing to work with anyone. Anyone. I will work with Ferretti. I will work with Ferretti, without a doubt, right? But we're not going to hate. We're not hating on anyone. We want to see people do good. We recognize who our enemies are. It's the union leadership. Not everyone, but most of them, and it's the MTA. You know, the MTA can't continue to claim no knowledge. Like, we bring our grievances to them all the time. They can't continue to claim no knowledge or say, just because your union didn't fight for it for you, we're not going to give it to you. That's not how it should work. That is not how it should work. You're right, Wilfredo. At the end of the day, we all we got. If we are officially our last line of defense. The members are officially the last line of defense. You got members saying, oh, you know, we got to prioritize our fight. Nah, everything must be fought for at this point. The MTA is waging so many attacks on us that we ignore what's going on the right, then they go take what's going on the left. Everything must be fought for. We already seen what happened with the CNF lines. Every single last thing must be fought for. There's no such thing as we got bigger fish to fry. If we got to fight for better uniforms, then we got to fight for better uniforms. If we got to fight for discipline, then we got to fight for discipline. You could actually fight for those two things at the same time because they got nothing to do with each other. People act like they can't walk and chew gum at the same time. I don't get it. Like, why can't we want better uniforms and want discipline at the same time? I don't get it. Why people acting like those two things cannot exist at the same time? I don't get it. I do not get it. But we, in order for us to get better, we must want better as members. We must want better as members. If we don't want better, then we not going to get better. We're going to get the same union leadership. We're going to get the same reaction from the MTA. We're going to get the same narrative. When the members, when each and every one of us want and demand better, then we will get better. And it must start with this year's union election. We must support the people who's actually putting in the work, the people who have done the work. Stay away from the narrative of when I get in, we will see change. You have to ask the people, well, before you got in, what kind of change did you actually create? What did you do? We don't want to hear, oh, when I get in, I'm going to do this. When I get in, I'm going to do that. You even have, you know, you got Utano saying, you got them saying that, Utano, what is he going to change? You know what I'm saying? We don't even want to hear what he want to change. We want to hear what he have done. And he has done nothing to protect the safety, to lessen discipline, to get us the raises that we deserve. He done did absolutely nothing. So Utano should be a big no this election. Utano should be a big no this election. He has done absolutely nothing to advance the lives of transit workers. In fact, the Stand United administration has done absolutely nothing to advance. We're not talking about barely make it. We're talking about advance the lives of transit workers. It has been a status quo contract during this Stand United administration. There has been absolutely no breakthroughs for our contractors, transit workers under this Stand United administration. Absolutely none. It has been a status quo contract, and we should demand as members, we do not want a status quo contract. We want better. We want 5 weeks vacation after 5 years, like sanitation, like corrections, like NYPD. We want uniform allowance. Yeah. They give us a uniform, but we have to maintain that uniform. We have to wash that uniform. We have to dry clean that uniform. We have to keep our uniform intact. Part of the MTA rules is that our uniform must be well kept. Well, if you want me to keep my uniform well kept, you must give me uniform allowance. I don't care if you give me the uniform. You're not giving me money to maintain my uniform. We need uniform allowance, like NYPD, like sanitation, like corrections, like FDNY. No more status quo contract. We need unlimited sick. We need unlimited sick. Everyone else have unlimited sick, right? Nobody else, none of those other agencies have as much contact with the public as us. Why don't we have unlimited sick? Let's stop with the status quo contract. The status quo contracts must stop. It must stop. You know, being a part of the status quo hasn't fared well for transit workers. Why? Because now we can't afford to live in the city in which we work. We got to move to Connecticut. We got to move to Jersey. We have to move to Pennsylvania. Some people I know even traveling from Maryland every day to come to work. We cannot afford to live in the city in which we work because of status quo contracts. Because this past decade, Stand United has decided to give us status quo contracts and try to package it as the best contract ever. Well, we got other people to compare it to that work in the same city as us, that don't have as many members as us, that's not allegedly as strong as us, but we get the weaker deal and the weaker contracts. Come on, we cannot continue to be business as usual and have the status quo mindset. If we want change have to begin with us. We have to want the change if we want to see the change. No more status quo. Facts. And sanitation and FDNY and NYPD, as soon as they hear that one of their women members are pregnant, they are given some type of light duty desk work. In New York City Transit, that is not the case. What happens is you have to work until your third trimester. You have to take a test, an oral proficiency test, to be a dedicated announcer. So what happens when women in stations get pregnant? What happens when bus operators get pregnant? What happens when women in track get pregnant? What are they offered? Right? What kind of light duty are they offered? Like this status quo mentality that we have is getting us nowhere. And we blame the union for the status quo mentality and the MTA also, but we must blame the union first because they are supposed to have our best interest, not the best interest of Cuomo, not the best interest of Pat Foy and Sarah Feinberg, not the best interest of these politicians, but the workers' best interest, right? And then look, think about it like this with the politicians. Whenever we have press conferences, we have any type of event, and the politicians come. Do you notice what the politicians do when they come? They say their speech and they leave soon after. To me, that's blatant disrespect. And we're gonna reanalyze how we deal with politicians moving forward. The politicians, and this is how the union do us, right? You have the politicians come to our events, right? Whether it's progressive action and union events, no matter what the case is, right? They come to our events. The politicians come and say what they gotta say and leave. Don't you think that that's backwards? Shouldn't the politicians be there to hear what us as members have to say? We not there and creating these soapboxes for them to promote their platforms on. We not here for that. We create these platforms so they can hear what we have to say, not us hear what they have to say. And that's what's been happening these past decades. The politicians come, say what they gotta say, and I gotta go to another event, knowing they don't gotta go to nothing else. They just don't want to hear what we have to say. Well, we're gonna have to change that strategy. And if politicians are not sticking around to hear what the members have to say for members' grievances, whether it's assaults, whether it's service cuts, whether it's raises, no matter what it is, if they not there to hear what we have to say, then we don't want to hear what they have to say, because we not creating these soapboxes for them to promote their propaganda, but they don't want to hear the true and real issues from us members. They got us messed up out here, man. But we got to blame this on the status quo. If you understand what I'm saying, please like this video. Hit the like button. If you understand what I'm saying, hit the like button. If you agreeing with what I'm saying, hit the like button. It's a whole bunch of people in here watching right now. Hit the like button if you understand what I'm saying. But we must stop the status quo mentality. The status quo mentality is not doing us any justice. It's not doing us any good. It's putting us further behind. It's making us, we can't afford to live in the city in which we work. It's getting us poor. The union feel that they could get over on us with anything that they do. We're not holding them accountable. We must change our status quo mentality here. It's a must. We must change the status quo mentality ASAP. And we must change how we view things. We must start getting into politics and all of that other stuff. But we can't be mad at the MTA. We can't be mad at them, but we must be mad first at our union leadership for not holding us down, for not representing our best interests like they should. We must hold them accountable first, take care of business with the union leadership, then we take care of business with the MTA. Or we could do it simultaneously. I don't see no issue doing it simultaneously. We could do both. But our major issue is with our poor union leadership. Our poor union leadership. If you like what I said, if you like the information that I dished out today, make sure to hit the like button. If you want to support the movement, the Cash App is Progressive Action 100. The PayPal is Progressive Action. Y'all have a safe and happy weekend. It's spring break. Be safe. Let's stop the status quo. Catch you guys later. Peace.